The equipment you fly directly translates to the experience you have in paramotoring. Let me explain.
I'm just happy to be alive today.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Trevor Steele, and over the last 13 years, I've trained over 621 students at my paramotor school, Backcountry PPG. Today, I want to talk about some things that I've seen over the last decade as far as equipment goes. I'm going to name no names. I don't want to call anybody out. That is not the point of this video. I think there's tons of amazing equipment out there, and I don't want to make this video a long, extensive, crazy yabber jabber yabber theme-a-bob. Let me start over. Okay, so I really don't want this video to be a video of me bashing on any of equipment. That is not the point. I really want to reiterate that point and drive that point home, as again, that's not the point of this video. But I do want to talk about how I've seen different equipment make a night and day difference in how a pilot has experienced and enjoyed flying paramotors. The first thing I really want to talk about is the ease of use. And that is as far as the motor, comfort, reliability, usability. If you've got a paramotor that is really hard to use, it's heavy, it's uncomfortable, it's weird to run with, it's awkward, it's hard to adjust, whatever it is that it so be, it makes the experience more difficult. And what I've seen throughout the last decade is the harder it is, the less likely you are to go do it, especially at the start. You need to reduce that barrier to entry as much as possible and make it as easy as possible for the pilot to go. Now, the next one is the engine. If you've got an engine that is really hard to start, or the maintenance sucks, or you're constantly having to tune it, or you constantly have to work on it, that again completely taints the experience because more time than necessary is spent working on the engine. You really want, when you're new, an engine that is super easy to use, super reliable, and everybody knows how to work on it. Because when you first get into the sport, unless you're a mechanic already, you're not gonna know how to work on these things.
Very true.
And as you go through the years, you're gonna start getting more and more aware of it and more comfortable with it. A good training program like ours here at Backcountry, we do an extensive ground school on motor maintenance, but it doesn't mean you're comfortable working on them yet. That takes time. And so you want to fly something easier. I used to fly equipment, I'm not gonna name the name, but the engine was a lot harder to use. It struggled to run, there was more problems, more things broke, you had to work on it a lot more. It also was uncomfortable to use. All of those variables I saw and have seen led to a lower success rate in terms of pilots going on and doing this because it was harder. And as those pilots transitioned to other things, I saw the amount of times they flew in a year jump up. It became easier, it was more fun, there was less headache, there was less hassle, there was less cost in terms of maintenance. It seriously makes a huge difference. The next piece is the glider. Same thing with the motor, you need a glider that's easy to use. I have flown gliders and had gliders that are hard to inflate, that don't produce lift, and guess what? It just sets you up for failure in some sense and makes life harder. So if you're going out there with a super 10-year-old older glider that's like you got it a screaming deal, just keep in mind that that is setting the tone as to the experience you're gonna have in this sport. You want something easy. My preference is the Ozone Spider 3. I don't think it gets any easier than that. I brought down the difficulty level as far as possible. It's easy to inflate, it's easy to fly, it can grow with you. The glider and the motor really make a difference in that experience. I've seen a lot of people come into this industry and I've seen them come in with just a wide range of equipment. People buying used equipment on the marketplace, which is something you really want to be conscious of, or buying brand new equipment that maybe they just aren't knowledgeable about yet. It just changes things. And the whole point of this video is I'm hopeful that you don't not buy the used setup that's a good deal, or you don't not buy the equipment, but instead you just dedicate yourself to learning a little bit more, asking a few more people's opinion, trying to understand equipment before you just jump on and buy something, because it does make a difference. What you fly has an impact on how often you fly, how easily you fly, how much fun you have. You could get screaming good deals, but you may only fly it 5 times before you realize it totally sucks. It's hard for you to use, it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. Now you want to sell it and buy other things. I've had students come through with their gear and they realized that it just wasn't working as they wanted. And now they've got to go through the process of selling and buying something else. So I would just encourage you to learn a little bit more about the equipment you're looking at before you purchase especially used gear. That is where people get bit the most. They find that screaming good eBay special, only to realize the eBay special was an eBay special for a reason. You know, I would ask instructors. Myself, I'm always happy to have people send me a used setup and be like, yo, what do you think of this? And I shoot them an honest answer back. And I know there's other people out there that would give you that same honest opinion. I would just encourage you to seek out a little bit more information before you just jump into, especially a used equipment purchase. You have anything to add to that, Chris?
See if you can get maintenance logs. I mean, ask questions about that motor. Was it hard to work on? Did the gentleman or lady have to tune it all the time? Just general maintenance questions that are gonna make your life a little easier. You don't wanna spend all your time working on your motor when you get out to the field. You wanna spend that time laying out your wing and going flying.
Exactly that. We're not getting into paramotoring to work on motors, to struggle to launch, to have difficulty because of the equipment. We're getting into paramotoring to go have a good time, to fly, to explore, to see these mountains and terrain from a different perspective that only we can see. That is kind of the overwhelming idea behind this video, is that I'm hopeful this can guide you in a good direction, help you make a good choice on the equipment that's right for you. If you have questions, if you want to know what I would recommend, visit my website, backcountryppg.com, or reach out to me personally at 801-599-1684. I would love to help answer your questions and help guide you in a good direction. With all of that being said, my name is Trevor Steele. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below if you've got any opinions on this topic, and I will see you guys in the next one.